I've been driving by this place that sells semi-trucks, and they've had several parked in their lot now for a while that are the primary colors and white. So they've had, red, white, blue, and yellow truck cabs parked out in their lot. And I wanted to come down here and get a picture of them for a little while now. But I'm not sure where to park. I haven't found a spot out here yet that looks like it's public parking. Everything here is like businesses or there's like a mobile home lot. And I don't really want to park in there. So I'm not really sure where to park, but I'm gonna see if I can find a spot and head up there and see if I can get a picture over by those trucks. I think that would look pretty cool. So I've come out here and I've found this trash can in the middle of a parking lot, or an abandoned lot maybe. It's interesting. I'll show you. I've taken some pictures of the fence now, and it looks like, so it's a barbed wire fence, but a lot of the actual fencing is missing from it. It has been like knocked down or something. All the gates are open. It's just like an abandoned lot out here. I want to get some pictures of this trash can. I think just having it out in the middle of this abandoned looking lot is really interesting, and I think it just makes for an interesting composition. There's some trees over there that might make the background look interesting, and then this fence is fascinating to me. That it's most like all the fencing itself, or the structure of the fence, seems to be intact. It's just the fencing material, the chain link, has been knocked down, and so you could just walk through it. And all the gates are open. It's just a really interesting place. I wasn't intending to come here, but here we are. Still trying to find a good place to park, though, to get that picture of those trucks. So I think this would be really cool. The primary colors are calling to me. There's a lot over here filled with shipping containers and semi-trailers that I think would look really cool. If only I could find a place to park. There's plenty of businesses over here that have parking lots, and several of them are open, several of them are closed, but I don't really want to park in the parking lot of a business. That feels not as friendly. If I'm not going to actually be going to that business, then I feel like I shouldn't park there. There's a little pull-off spot here by the side of the road that I'm eyeing. I'm gonna see if I can park there. This doesn't appear to be associated with the business. It's kind of by a roundabout, but it clearly looks like it's a spot that's meant for people to park in, or for something to happen here. I'm not really sure. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna park here, and we'll see how that goes. The truck sales spot is right over there, so that shouldn't be too far of a walk. The place with all the trailers and shipping containers is back that way quite a ways, so I may not be able to walk all that distance, but we'll see. All right, I'm getting nearer to it. It's a little colder out here than I had hoped for, though. There seems to be some traffic up on the bridge. I think they're doing road work up there. This could be an interesting shot from here of the bridge, actually. I might stop and take that. I've made my way here, and I'm close to the lot. You can see the trucks kind of behind me. There's a slow-moving train. There's these interesting bridges, and there's a lot more traffic passing by than I had hoped there would be. I thought that this area of town would be slower on a Saturday, but I don't know why I thought that, because it is clearly not right. So I'm going to try to get a little closer over to those trucks and see if we can get something interesting there. There's a lot of trash up here, which I suppose is what you get for being right off a highway in between bridges. Tried to get a picture of the train as well. Thought it looked kind of neat driving by, but I don't know that I like what I ended up with, so I'll show you anyway. But it's nothing crazy. I'm going to try to make my way over to these trucks now for what I actually came down here for. There's a better angle on this, I'm sure. I'm not digging this one. Is this ideal? No. Do I feel ridiculous? Yes. But here we are. I'm going to try and see what I can do here. I like this angle better on the trucks. Try to see if we can minimize distractions, though. The sky is starting to get bluer. It was a lot more overcast earlier. Can I make this mic into a lapel mic? Maybe, if I stuff it in my shirt. Alright. I'm going to try and see if we can find a way to get back to where all the trailers were, because I think I want to try that. But I also want to try this angle on these trucks. I think this is good here. Let's see what we can do. This big red one here is our primary subject. Does it do anything for it being behind a fence? Does that tell a story? Maybe. All right. Well, we'll call that interesting. This yellow truck framed up in between. Can I get it in between everything here? Yes, I can. All right. I think that's good for here. If there was less traffic, I would feel better about spending more time trying to find something precise, but it's a little busier than I wanted. So we're gonna go find somewhere else to be. Sticking the microphone in my shirt seems to be working. It's not quite a lapel mic though. I'm gonna stop by the car for gloves, I think. My fingers are gonna get too cold otherwise. Okay. Grabbing some gloves. It's just a little cold out. But gloves will help to keep going. At least for a little bit. So many interesting things down here. The gloves were definitely a good idea. Keeping those fingers warm. The wind has calmed down and the sun has come out a little bit. It's not warm, but it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. This fence is interesting. Huh. Also, I am aware that I say that things are interesting probably way too much. But I think you'd have to agree. This bridge is pretty interesting. All rusted and wood structure with age and wear. It looks cool. I want to try to get the two supports in the same frame. I think I'm gonna have to walk down over there for that. And over here, it's a little closer to the road, which I'm not as much a fan of because I don't really want to get hit by anything. But you do get both in the frame though, at least a little bit. Maybe vertical is better here. Let's give it a try. I love a good train trestle, if that's even what this is. A detail shot here. Yeah, that's cool. And then the semi-trailers are just right down there, which you might be able to see. That's where we're going. Just getting sidetracked on side quests, side missions. But we'll be there in just a second. Now the question becomes, how do I get over there with minimal street crossings and while being able to walk somewhat safely? Well, here we are in the middle, which isn't where I had hoped to be, but could prove useful. This is fascinating. Huh. I don't know that I would have thought to try this, but I don't mind it. Maybe I can get a shot from underneath the trestle looking up at it. And directly underneath. The pattern here is cool. Or as I would say, interesting. Leave a little bit of ambiguity on this one. How long is the train track? We don't know. But my shutter speed isn't high enough for me to feel comfortable with that, so I'm going to try a different approach. All right. There we go. ISO 4000. We'll see how that looks when we're back to editing. Well, this is editing me. Looking at these two pictures, the one on the left is the one where I said that the shutter speed was too long, a 30th of a second, which with in-body stabilization and a 40 millimeter lens, a 30th of a second is fine. The picture came out sharp. I wasn't wobbling around all that much. ISO 4000 was just overkill. I was at ISO like 160 or something for the other one, so I don't know what I was thinking. All right, let's cross over to here, and then we should be able to cross right over to here and get this shipping container in the sun. Yeah. I think I like that. We get straight on with these trailers here. Not half bad. Try to get this shipping container and trailer profile. When there's so many cars and trucks and everything driving around, I don't feel motivated to come out here and do stuff like this because I feel like there's too many people who are going to see me. But now that I've been out here doing it for half hour or so, maybe, they just end up feeling like background noise. I mean, to an extent, I still notice them and I don't like it, but it's not as disconcerting as I had thought it might be. And then every once in a while, there's a time like this where there's just nobody around, which is cool. All right. I like this idea. As you can see right between these trailers. And there's some shipping containers in the background, which give a sense of depth and that there's more, and it blocks the view to any background behind, which makes it look mysterious in a way. Mysterious is probably the wrong word, but it makes it look like we don't know how far it goes, which adds to a sense of the depth and scale of what we're looking at. It really isn't, a super large yard, but it is fairly good size, and I want it to look like we don't know how far it goes. This one with its door open is fascinating. Maybe I can back up and get something with that. Yeah. That might be all right. Nothing makes you feel like a YouTuber, like walking around and holding a camera at your face. This is what makes me feel awkward when cars drive by, is doing this kind of thing. Not just taking pictures. That's fine. It's the vlog look. All right, I'm gonna cross over to here because I want to try to get more than just 3 or 4 trucks or trailers rather, in the frame. I want to try to get quite a few. And then there's a couple shipping containers poking out the top, which definitely communicates that there's more depth to this scene and more going on here. Can I get this light pole all the way in? Maybe. Yeah, I think I like that. Again, you can see in between that there's shipping containers, and then there's a stack of blue ones sticking up over the top. And I do like that. That looks cool. I'm gonna walk down this way and see if I can get something else featuring those blue ones, because I like that aspect of it. There's one trailer that's kind of in between some others that's got some space on either side of it. You can see several layers of shipping containers, which is kind of cool. Maybe if I raise up the camera a little bit. Yeah, not sure. I don't know what all this yellow stuff is, though. It's kind of cool. Against the blue building there. creates a contrasting color, which I like. I've always liked blue and yellow together. Let's try to get this here. All right, I think I'm gonna call that a minute, and I'm gonna head home. All right, got a last few pictures in there, and I think they look pretty cool. Overall, I'm happy. I came out to take pictures, which is something I love to do. Well, I think that was pretty successful. I feel pretty good about a lot of those pictures that I got. I'll try to do some more in this format, I think, where I'm just out and about taking pictures. I don't know that I had a message or any specific piece of advice to give today, other than it's good to get out. It's good to take pictures. And I do enjoy that process. This video here, I've been neglecting for a couple weeks. I know I'm missing my schedule, if I even have one. Regularly irregular, or irregularly regular. They'll come out at some point. I want to take some pictures of those shipping containers over there before they move. But today is not that day. That'll be another day.